Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Careers Mare podcast with me, Jordan, and my beautiful friend, Jacob. Jacob, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay, thanks. I'm moving house at the moment, or about to move house, so I've been doing a lot of that stuff recently, which has been fun. I went round today, met the landlords, had a look around. It's empty, but I'll have it from Friday next week, and then move in over the course of 2 weekends, which is exciting.
Is it a nice place?
It's pretty nice, yeah. It's small, but it's perfectly formed, and it's got a garden, which I haven't had for about 7 or 8 years.
Wow.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Tend to your lawn, Jacob.
Yeah, I will have to do that. Get a lawnmower. I don't know why people. I mean, I've only ever used a manual lawnmower. I don't know what the benefit is of having an electric one.
What?
So you've only used an electric one?
Yeah.
Well,
what are you talking about? It's not. What, you Luddite? It's not the 18th century. What
are you imagining? Are you imagining
get a
that
motor on it?
I'm cutting every individual blade of grass with some nail scissors or something?
Do you mean it's one of the ones you have to push around? There's no motor on it, but it just...
Yeah, it's like a cylindrical thing with blades in it, and you push it over the grass and it mows it. Easy. Why would you want it to be electric?
Because it's easier.
Yeah, but it's so much more expensive to get one of those than it is to get. It's not proportionately worth the extra money for the extra benefit it gives.
Jacob, I'm going to have to cut you off. I feel like this is a walking matter for me.
Okay.
If you don't get an electric lawnmower, this is done. Whatever you thought this was, this is over.
Okay, I'll go and get one now.
Okay, thank you. And whilst you're on your way, do you mind introducing our guest for this episode?
Well, I mean, you call me a Luddite. I'm going to order it online. I'm not going to go into a shop and buy one.
Who'd do that?
So, yeah, I just ordered it on PayPal, and it will be arriving any day now. So there we go. But yeah, no, it's good that I can stay because I need to introduce our guest for today, who is the wonderful Fran Lister. Francesca. Is it Francesca? We'll ask her in the episode. No, Frances. Lister. So she is a family friend of mine. So she is. So her daughter was probably the first friend I ever made because we were about one, and my mum met Fran at some kind of mother and baby group. So they're very old friends, and she is one of those friends that you can't wait to introduce to other friends. She was one of the first people when we started doing this podcast that I wanted to get on it, and I'm really happy that we've managed to get her on episode 5.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to just get on with it. I mean, she's in the wings. Should we just go to theme music and straight into talking to Fran?
Should we just do it?
Yeah, let's just do it.
Okay, go.
So, Fran, you and I have known each other for how long now?
Well, how old are you, Mr. Jacob? How old are you? You are...
I'm nearly 28.
28? So definitely about 26 years.
And I was a little bit shorter than I am now when you first met me.
A wee nappy-headed boy.
And now I'm a big nappy-headed boy.
Big nappy-headed boy, yeah.
And you've met Jordan today.
Have I not met
Yes.
him? Good afternoon, good evening, welcome.
Good evening.
And you know how when you grow up always knowing someone, especially when you're a child, you don't necessarily understand or even know what your parents do or your parents' friends do.
Uh-huh.
I can think back to particular points of time and remember what you were doing for a job then, but I don't really know the timeline or how it all pieces together. So I'm quite interested to go through it with you and fill in all the gaps in my knowledge, because I know that you've done a lot of quite interesting things.
I did actually do my homework, and I did have a little list. I've got my CV, which I could pull up, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, we could just post that instead of posting this episode.
boring. No, man, no. But words cannot express a life of a life of mine. But no, I mean, I think I said at the beginning, if the programme is called Careers Mare, then my life has been one long career day mare, I'd say.
You did say that
I
before we
did,
started
I did.
recording it, and that boded well for... So what was your first job back when... Well, when did you get your first job? How old were you?
Well, I reckon I had a paper round. That was quite good. That was my first paid job where I got the money and I could save up and buy my records and my 45s.
What was the paper and how much did you get paid?
Definitely, it was the Evening Standard.
Oh, okay. So you went straight to the national newspapers.
Yeah, that was my afternoon paper round. And the morning paper round was obviously all the Sunday supplements, and that's if I did it on a Sunday. But, you know, all of the papers to all of the houses every morning.
Great.
Yeah.
And how many papers in a round?
A big heavy bag that only got lighter when you posted your papers, because we didn't do anything like they do in America. Or we didn't chuck it at the doorstep or anything.
Oh, they have bags of papers that don't get lighter when you take newspapers out of them.
I don't know about that, but I posted them to the letterbox and got lots of lovely tips at Christmas. That was nice.
What was your first proper job, would you say?
I did a job experience at a travel agent's.
Oh, that's quite a nice place to do that. What was your job exactly?
Well, I stamped the brochures in the back of the shop.
Okay.
And
what does that mean?
It means that all the brochures that get delivered and people go in and look at the shelves and go, oh, there's a nice sunny trip to a cruise. I'll have that brochure. And then on the back of it, it's got the name and the telephone number of the shop that they got the brochure from. You see, this is in the old days of getting people to come back to that shop to book their holiday. So in some ways, my job was a vital role. And in other ways, it was so annoyingly boring. I wanted to be learning to be a travel agent. I wanted to travel the world anyway. And so I think I stormed out angrily one day and never went back.
Why was that? Was that because you'd had to stamp too many brochures in one day, or you're just bored?
Too many brochures in one day, and it's like, come on, I want to learn how to be a travel agent. And it was like, well, you're only on job experience. And see, I wanted to travel the world, so I wanted to sort of work out how you did this and did that.
Right.
But so that was my first. I think that was my first attitude towards authority.
And did you storm out and then go and travel the world?
In stages. I didn't quite do it straight away.
So what was next after the job experience?
The next was I got a job as a sales rep. It was actually a very good way of leaving home, because we sort of worked in an office from London or Bristol and travelled around the country and basically knocking on doors and selling encyclopaedias to the masses of the ignorant. I bring you knowledge.
Did you have much luck with that? Were you successful with that?
Well, Jordan, it was hit and miss. I did it for 2 years. I got to travel all around the Army, Navy and Air Force bases in this country and all of the Army and Air Force bases in probably Germany that were British. So sometimes we'd go on to married quarters, which were inside the army base. So you're knocking on doors, going, oh, hello, I'm running a survey today. Would you like to take part? And anyway, whatever. I never said it in a Frank Spencer voice.
Your job wasn't to sell encyclopedias exclusively to military.
I was going to say, yeah, you were. Why specifically military bases?
Well, you see. Often they got, well, okay, you want the straight answer or the cynical answer? No.
Both.
Both. Yeah. First of all, they were often moving, so there would be new customers coming in a 2 or 3 year sort of, because they get posted elsewhere. So there's always fresh meat. And secondly, because they were our army, sometimes the children, because the excuse or the reason was, oh, your children are always moving around to different schools. It'd be good to have a solid education in your bookshelf. So every time Johnny needs to know something, he can look up that Caxton's encyclopedia and find out how to make a air balloon or something. I don't know.
What's an air balloon?
What's an air balloon? Zeppelin.
So
Did
you
you,
sold encyclopedias to the army that they told them how to make zeppelins.
Well, you know.
Did you? You didn't cause the Hindenburg disaster, did you, Fran?
I wasn't born then.
Did you? You didn't happen across Hanover in your days in Germany, did you?
Get out the way. Ouch. Sorry, dog was getting stuck in my wires.
So you sold encyclopedias around
Yep.
the world.
Yep.
To military personnel.
to military,
Sorry.
yeah.
I feel like we haven't drilled into that enough, but it's okay, Jordan. I'll take your lead.
that'll
Let's
do.
move on.
So what was next in the working life of Fran?
Well, as I say, I didn't manage to get arrested by the military police, so that was quite good.
You didn't. Okay.
I avoided capture.
Why
by
was
being-
that? Were you trespassing
Running
on
and-
the bases?
I was trespassing on the basis because I was knocking on the doors of the married quarters of the people inside the base. It was like a dare. See if you can get some appointments inside the base. Oh yeah, all right. And then the military police are doing their patrols, and it's like I've got this crappy little briefcase under my arm, and I'm jumping and hiding behind a bush till they've gone. Carry on knocking on doors. I've got 3 appointments. Right, we're going to go back tonight under cover of darkness.
Did it pay well, this job, for the risk?
For the risk and the pain, not some people did really well and were able to sell 2 or 3 sign-ups every evening. I was lucky if I did 1 a week, I suppose.
One encyclopedia.
One set, yeah, or 2. I think that just kept me in hotels, you know. But and chips with mayonnaise.
That sounds quite nice.
I love the travelling life, you know.
Yeah.
Different hotel, another town, another city.
But you think they made a loss from you?
Definitely.
Oh dear.
But then I suppose they don't exist anymore. The shops do, but the encyclopedias, because it's all
Well,
gone digital, isn't
it's
it?
all online now these days.
Digital.
What was next after trespassing on military bases to sell encyclopedias? To sell 1 encyclopedia a week to military personnel?
I'm a bit blurred about the order of things, but I actually worked in a fast food restaurant called Casey Jones, and they were invented before McDonald's was big.
Oh, okay. Was it a British company?
I think it was run by the people, the British Rail Travel Fair people. Casey Jones, rocking and a rolling. Casey Jones. There was a kids program, and he was a train driver in the American West, with one of those big trains with the big snowplow at the front. I was looking him up today as a bit of research for the prog, and he died by crashing into a freight train. So that was the end of Casey Jones.
Well, the character in the children's show.
No, it was based on a real life character who was a train driver.
That's quite an ironic way to go, isn't it?
It's sad. It's
Yeah.
sad. So what did they do? They made a burger restaurant in his honour.
What? Why?
Casey Jones, rocking out of rolling.
I feel like my drink has been spiked. So, I've never heard of this Casey Joe. I guess they're not still
I'm
around.
going to have to look this up now.
All major, because of the railway theme, all major railway stations, Waterloo, I don't know, mine was Liverpool Street, Euston, Charing Cross probably, and then in other parts of the country, Manchester, Piccadilly, Birmingham. Yeah, they were all the rage in every major train station. Is you could always get your Casey Jones burger.
Right, and what was your job specifically there?
Well, all the sorts of things you do, you know, doing the chips and putting the burgers on the grill and watching them cook.
Yeah.
and squirting on the whatever that stuff is, the gherkin sauce and all that.
Yeah. Did they use beef dripping for the chips in those days?
Oh no.
Oh, that's a shame.
No.
What do they use?
Normal cooking oil, I would imagine. It was the late 80s, I believe.
Yeah, I'm just sorry, I've just been looking this up.
Have you found it?
It was a burger chain specifically for train stations, operated by British Rail. You might remember dashing in and buying a great Casey for £1.80. £1.80?
£1.80. That was a double,
a
wasn't
victim of privatisation, I guess.
Yeah, sadly, it said that McDonald's branches have replaced many of the earlier burger joints at London stations.
I think Burger King took them over, and then McDonald's got real big.
Ah.
Couldn't
What a nice
compete,
idea.
Yeah, it was all based on Casey Jones, the train driver in America.
Yeah, with the feel-good story of how he died in a train accident.
Yep.
And did you enjoy working there?
Again, I think I had a brush with a bad attitude towards authority.
I'm noticing a pattern here, Fran.
Maybe. No, I mean, I think 3 months, and I just couldn't hack it really. And what they do when the peg doesn't fit, they sort of do things like, "Oh, your till was out by too much pennies today."
Right.
And you go, "No, it wasn't." And then the next day they go, "Oh, it was under today," and it's like, "No, it wasn't." You know, so
Yeah.
I can't be bothered with that penny pinching attitude when your work's so bloody hard. Just giving people chips and burgers and shit food. I can't believe I did it.
At least you got a good attitude about it now, though.
Indeed, I do. Indeed, hasn't changed.
Was it so? Right, Jordan.
I'm glad you can. I'm glad you can reflect on it so fondly, Fran.
I tell you what, actually, I went to catering college after that.
Ooh.
Okay.
Because I wanted to travel the world, and a good way of doing it was knowing how to cook, so that I could work anywhere in the world.
How did you find that? Did you any troubles with
I was
authority
gonna
again
say,
at catering college?
Did you walk out, Fran?
Well, I did have to brush shoulders with the job centre, but they steered me in the direction of a City and Guilds 6-month course instead of a year's course. And
Jordan works for the job centre.
Yeah, so watch your mouth, Fran.
I was careful. Luckily, as I say, I just slid around and they pushed me in that direction, so that was good.
And what did you like? Don't think I've ever really spoken to anyone about a catering course before. What is the syllabus on a catering course?
Let me think now. Based on the French Brigade of Cookers. French Brigade of Cookers.
You're trained to become an oven.
like the different sections of the kitchen. I've forgotten all the French.
Like sous chef and things like that. Yeah.
Chef de partie.
Yeah, chef de partie and oui, all of those things. Oui.
Oui.
And so it was nice to know all of that, and then you're learning basic French cooking, not English cooking. And then doing a bit of silver service waitressing, and then boom, off you go into the world, strike forth and cut onions and create amazing meals in amazing places for amazing people.
And things like sort of flavour combinations, those kind of things. Did you learn all that there as well?
Yeah, they had something called food science. So it's a bit alchemical, isn't it? Because you're boiling something like an egg, and it's changing colour and it's going hard. It's amazing. Or you've got to fry a steak, but you've got to know if it's rare, medium, or well done. It's little tricks to find out those sorts of things, and I love that. And I love the short order and the speed and the adrenaline. Adrenaline. You know the word. Say it for me, please.
Adrenaline.
Thank you. So, yeah, I liked all that. And it took me to quite a few places, actually.
So, yeah, did you actually leave that and then go and work as a chef?
I did. I worked as a chef in London, Hereford, in Hong Kong.
It's quite a jump there. London, Hereford, Hong Kong.
Sounds like the side of the of Del Boy's van. New York, Paris, Peckham. What made you make the jump to Hong Kong?
Well, I think it was all about wanting to travel, really. Actually, I think what did I do? I went to catering college, and then I went to Israel to work on a kibbutz. So I didn't use my catering per se. I worked in the what do you call it? What's that thing called where they cook food?
Kitchen?
Not the the kitchen, but the sort of back kitchen where you're sort of peeling 100 potatoes.
Oh, okay.
Slicing 1,000 carrots. Yeah.
In the kibbutz.
But, in the kibbutz, I absolutely loved my time in Israel on the kibbutz. It was absolutely fantastic. Meeting lots of people from all around the world. Oh, I loved it. Drinking vodka and banana liqueur in the sunrise.
Peeling carrots.
Yeah.
So was Israel first before Hong Kong?
It was. I went to Israel. I was actually an au pair for a while.
Whilst you were in Israel?
That was fun. That was great.
Were you an au pair in Israel at the kibbutz, or where were you an au pair?
I left the kibbutz to become an au pair in Tel Aviv.
Ah.
So I was the au pair to the ambassador of Australia.
Really?
Wow.
How did you get that gig?
Ambassador. Just went down the agency and smiled. So, give me a good job, babies. Because my friend who went to the same agency, she had to look after a baby from an Israeli family. She had to be up at 7 o'clock in the morning, changing nappies, feeding, doing all the baby things. I had a 6 and 7-year-old, and it was so cushy. I'd pick them up from school. I'd read them stories. I'd play with them on the beach. That was my job done.
Oh,
it was
that sounds really lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So far we've got you did a paper round, and I was on board with that, delivering the Evening Standard. Then there was selling encyclopaedias by trespassing on military bases all over the world. And then there was going to catering college, leaving to work in a kibbutz, and then becoming an au pair to the Australian ambassador to Israel.
Ambassador,
don't forget Casey Jones.
And Casey Jones.
Yeah.
And don't forget Casey Jones.
And obviously working at a restaurant owned by British Rail that is named and themed after a man who was killed in a rail accident.
He's a train driver. One of those big trains in America.
When I say that back to you, Fran, just from does that sound? Do you see how that sounds a little bit mad? Your list of jobs so far.
My life so far. Why, thank you, Jacob.
How old were you when you were au pairing in Tel Aviv?
I think I must have been about 20.
So already by that point.
What?
That's amazing that you did all of that. And you just turned 20. Wow.
Well, that's because I wasn't stuck at school till I was 18. I snuck off. So I had a 3-year sort of twaddle around going, what's this thing called life and how am I supposed to live it? You know, it's challenging, isn't it?
And so Hong Kong.
To earn my money to go to Hong Kong, I did work in a chicken factory for a while. I don't know that's a proud moment in my history. I have been vegetarian at times, but you know.
Oh, so you were snapping their necks, were you?
Not quite. It was, and they had a machine to do that. I won't go into detail.
Did you design the machine?
No. That's the sort of thing you do, Jacob. Or you did do. I don't know what you do now.
Can I just say for the record, I've never done anything like designing machine that snaps chickens next.
You worked at the neck snapping factory, Jacob, admit it. You built those monstrous machines.
Yeah, my philosophy degree prepared me well for that. So what did you do in the chicken factory?
You know those skips that you have that people might put rubbish in?
Yeah.
You know, well, sometimes you'd be knee-high deep in your wellies in a pit of chicken carcasses, chucking them out onto the... It was quite ugly, really. I don't want to talk about it. It's a dark time in my past.
How long were you there for?
I think I did the twilight shift, so 6 till 10, probably for about 6 months or something.
Oh, that is bleak.
That gave you the money to then jump to Hong Kong.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then were you...
So it paid well, did it?
Well, if you want to get somewhere, you work and get the money, and then you can go. So.
But did that pay better than like another job you could have got that would have been less bleak?
Actually, I might have been doing 2 jobs because I always end up doing 2 jobs. I think I was probably working in the wine bar in the daytime and then doing the chicken factory in the nighttime. So spending all my life working to be somewhere else, to not have a social life because I'm always bloody working. No.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
So you got to Hong Kong.
Got to Hong Kong. Hong Kong was lovely. I mean, I don't know how long have I been going now. I don't want to bore the world with my... But that's a bit cheeky saying everything described so far is a bit bonkers, Jacob. Thank you very much.
You don't think it was then? You think that's...
That's just an average life, is it not?
Well, if it is, then I am well below average in terms of having an interesting career. I guess that's why I do this podcast, so I can live vicariously through other people's interesting, mad careers.
I agree with you there. And I know I'm skipping a bit, but we could digress later. But I'd love to do a job where I'm interviewing people on the radio. It'd be great.
Oh, you'd be good at that.
You would be, Fran. From the short time talking to you, you would really be good at that.
No.
But we can cover that later.
I'm jumping ahead, I do believe.
Yes.
Jumping ahead, yeah.
So
we still want to hear about Hong Kong.
Yeah, so Hong Kong.
What did you do in Hong Kong?
Hong Kong is where I learned to speak German, as you do.
I think that's the wrong place, Fran.
Yet another left turn.
Because I was working in a German bar, so lots of German men
like
with their schnurrbarts.
A German-themed bar or an actual German bar? Like
selling German beer, selling all the lovely German beers that they do. Hence it being a German beer bar. Beer bar. A German beer bar.
Yeah.
A Schnoob. They call them Schnoobs. Bierstubs.
Und
anyway.
Sprichst du Deutsch?
Ein bisschen. Ich vergessen. Or ich mache up what I don't know. In Janglish. I had the pleasure of speaking to a German only but a couple of weeks ago in Glastonbury. And I pulled a little bit of German out of my multi-language brain compartment. I asked him, kann ich Möchte ein Flasche Offnet, bitte?
Which
Jacob
means...
looks confused.
Which means what?
Could you open my bottle, please?
Ah.
So how many languages can you speak, Fran?
I can't speak any, Jordan. It's like a smattering of words in about 5 languages. It's not helpful, really, if I actually went there.
Do you know any Chinese?
Hoping doa chisoa.
What does that mean?
What's that?
Where is the toilet?
Oh, that sounded much more impressive.
That sounds like an important one.
So this German bar, I'm trying to picture what it's like. Is it? I'm imagining the waitresses are all dressed in kind of traditional German Fraulein kind of costumes, but I might be going off piste. I think it's because once Jordan and I went to a stag do in Liverpool, we went to a German bar.
Kaiser
and it was very
Keller.
much, and it was very much that kind of thing. What kind of thing was it in Hong Kong?
Oh, well, you had the pleasure of being what's the word? Reenacted Oktoberfest. So every time you went to the Kaiserkeller, you were singing and drinking beer songs. No.
Well, we could dance on the tables. That was the bit I loved the most. Was that they encouraged you to dance on the tables? Yeah.
But it wasn't like that in the German bar, because it was for businessmen that would go over and miss Germany so much. They needed their bratwurst mit Kartoffeln and their beer Kronbacher or something like that. I loved working in there. I loved chatting with the people. I loved the tips. And that actually, the tips I got from working there took me off to Malaysia and Brunei, and oh, what a life of freedom I led.
So, did you work at all when you travelled around Malaysia and Brunei and places like that?
No, that was just for fun. That was a holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Work in Hong Kong and then do a little bit of travelling, yeah.
And then did you return to Hong Kong, or where did you go after that?
Went back to Hong Kong, did some more work in the restaurant and the hotel and the bar and whatever. I was going to go to Australia, and I was just about to nip in before they you get a working visa below a certain age. And I would have just snuck in if I'd have carried on. But I think I'd been travelling a bit too long, and I just felt a bit homesick. Homesick.
So you came home?
I came home. So I've been away about 18 months.
And where was home for you at the time, Fran?
Brentwood in Essex.
So what did you do when you came home?
Did a lot of chefing jobs. I worked in film studios. I worked in Sony Music. I cooked for people that were making videos in the studios, and
is in like those big catering trolleys you see in films, or like they lay it all out for the crew.
Some of that, but not some of that, yeah. I did do a buffet for Michael Jackson.
What?
Oh,
right.
Unfortunately, he never turned up.
Oh.
But it
was it because of the buffet?
This is a shame.
He took one look
and he took one look and he walked out. No. He was far too big to come and eat my shoe buns that were ducks on an Aspic Lake pond.
So what was he there for? Why?
He was promoting his history album.
Oh, okay.
And he had a 200-foot statue that was on a barge coming up the Thames, and they had to open.
Oh, I remember.
Tower Bridge.
I don't remember that, but I've looked back and seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one hell of a promotion for your album.
So his people got in touch with the place you worked and said, "We want a buffet," and then you excitedly prepared it, and then he just didn't show up.
Well, no, he was signed to Sony's label. He was signed to the Sony label, and I worked for Sony Music.
Okay, right.
Yeah, you see. So all the artists that were signed to them would sometimes pop by and have a meal in the director's dining room,
But he had something better to do.
And I did have the surprise when I worked in the film studios, among other people. I was busy. I worked there on my own. I worked like a dog. I did every job. Oh my goodness me, I worked hard. And I just sweating away at the cooker one day, and I turned round and there was Boy George looking at me. And I didn't know what to say, so I said, we've got a nice vegetarian curry on the menu.
What did he say?
It's got chickpeas in it. He said, "Oh yeah, I'll have some of that." Because you hear shit about them, and you go, "Oh, he's a vegetarian, isn't he?" I'm so glad I did a vegetarian dish today.
You didn't get out a chicken and snap its neck in front of him and say, "Here you go, grubs up,
boy."
That is your real name.
Yeah, right.
What was Boy George like? Because I have heard that he sometimes could be a little bit on the arrogant side.
Well, I'm not one for telling tales, but I wouldn't be able to tell you, because literally I fluffed my lines and said, "Oh, I've got chickpea curry on the menu," and then didn't really know what else to say to him, because it wasn't, I was the cooker and he was the
You were
eater.
the cooker.
I was the cooker and he was the eater. And it's like, this is what you've got to eat. See you later. I don't know what to say.
I think
now.
it'd be quite hard
Go
to
scrub some pots.
I think it'd be quite hard to arrogantly turn down a vegetarian curry. You'd have to be really arrogant
Absolutely.
if your arrogance was spilling into even anodyne exchanges like that.
And I would have picked it up. I would have picked up his arrogance because I have a radar for sensing things like that.
Really? Tell us more about that.
Well, not really, no. No. But
that's trade secrets, Jacob.
Oh, okay.
Trade secrets. Well, I think I left that job with my food mixer in my arm, crying at the bus stop.
Oh, why?
Oh, I just had enough because I'd been working really hard. You have to think up new menus every day, and it's quite
every day
stressful, really.
My gosh.
Yeah. As inventive as I am, I sort of ran out of ideas, and it became a sort of quite a mental health issue. So, what am I going to cook today?
Were you making up dishes that didn't already exist? Did you run out of real dishes and have to make them up, or what?
Well, I think you order food, you sort of go, what am I going to cook today? And in the end, you just sort of cobbled something together and gave it a name that made it sound good. That's
so can you give us your top 3 culinary inventions?
Oh, God. Probably one of them would be something like a medley. But I was taking the piss out of myself. A medley of vegetables with a bouffon of dauphinoise potatoes. No, I don't know. I can't remember. But
you can't remember any dish you've ever made.
Well, they were insignificant, and you just gave them a name to sort of puff them up a bit,
What was your favourite dish to make? Or what is your favourite dish to make?
I don't know. I hate cooking. I went right off cooking. I did it every day of my life. I went off it. So nowadays I just sort of go to the fridge and sort of never know what I'm going to eat from day to day, really. But something turns up.
I have heard that from chefs that I've known.
Really?
It does feel like a bit of a busman's holiday that you cook all day and then you get home from work and you think, I cannot be bothered to cook for myself now.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what you had for lunch today?
I can actually. I had some wraps.
Just for a moment, I thought you said rats. And that...
No, not rats. Wraps.
What was in the wraps?
Moroccan hummus, which is my favourite. Salad, coleslaw. That's about it. Yeah, veggie wraps, vegan wraps, veggie wraps.
Nice. I made some wraps last week, which were portobello mushrooms and peppers and onions and some spices.
Ooh,
that was nice. Yeah,
nice gooey cheese in there as well. That would top it off. Yeah. Lovely.
Bit of guac, bit of salsa.
Nice. Because food is a pleasure, and to be excited to cook lovely dishes is great. But if you're doing it every day, you lose. A bit like being in the care profession.
It's something I've only gotten into later in my life, recently, basically, because honestly, if you saw what I ate back in uni,
really?
how I didn't get scurvy or rickets or something, I don't know. It was just curry out of the tin and microwavable rice and oven pizzas and pasta and just basic. Beige. It was beige. It was all beige. Yeah, it's only recently that I've realised that actually food can and should taste nice. when I make it myself.
Oh, good! You've discovered the wonder of the whole food thing, because it's massive.
So, do you like going out to restaurants? How do you enjoy food these days if you don't enjoy cooking?
Well, I did treat myself to the Ivy in Exeter. not so long last year sometime. That was but I tell you, more than the food, I really loved the toilets. I had to take pictures of the toilets, and I had to take pictures of the wallpaper in the toilets. Oh, it was just divine. It was great.
Is the Ivy posh? Is it
the
nice
Ivy's
there?
posh. It is turning into a bit of a corporate chain, but yeah, they do nice food, and they create a beautiful environment to eat it in. So it's all good.
So I think I'm right in saying that you haven't remained a chef throughout your entire career, have you?
No.
What interrupted that particular endeavour?
Well, I think I've burnt a lot of bridges in my life and sort of gone, right, I've done that now. What shall I do now? And I sort of I was at Sony Music, was I? And I said, right, that's it. I've had enough. I'm leaving. So I had a really nice leaving do and went to Hawaii, I think. Yeah, I went to Hawaii to do some Tai Chi with Master Dong. And
okay, hang on. Before we move on from that.
Right, you can't. No, we have to. Master Dong?
That was his name because he's Chinese, so it's okay to be called Master Dong.
Okay, how long were you studying Tai Chi for?
Oh, I probably did it for about 5 years when I went to London, when I was in London, because I did shiatsu, I did Tai Chi, I did massage, and then I went to Hawaii. I didn't know what I was going to do or where my life was going to lead. It was one of those moments where you go, right, I've had enough of this. What's the universe going to supply? What's going to happen? And then I came back to England and I was I was expecting a baby.
Oh, lovely.
Aww.
It's like, how did that happen? So that was the end of my catering career for a while. Oh, was it? Yeah, probably haven't done much since. Oh, I did actually, but that's another story. But so I became a mummy.
Not Egyptian kind.
No, not yet.
Are you planning for that?
Like.
Is that going to be your dream job when we come on to that later?
Actually.
It'd be nice and relaxing, wouldn't it? Lying down in a sarcophagus, wrapped in bandages all the time.
I wouldn't want to be dead, though. Not just yet.
Oh, yeah,
that caught you right with a mouthful of water, didn't it, Jacob?
I'm sorry, I forgot that being dead was part of the job description of being a mother. Sorry, yeah, so you became a mother, which is, of course, possibly the hardest job there is.
The hardest job there is, but the best job. The gift of life. The gift of life is such a gift. Yeah, I know, obviously, I wasn't quite ready for it, but who is? Who is? It's the most amazing thing to create life. A person that walks and talks and grows up. It's truly amazing.
So did that put the old job stuff on pause for a bit?
Oh, it was lovely, Jordan. I didn't have to work. It was like, yes, yes. I'll have a few years off being a mum, thanks. And that'll do me nicely.
But it's not time off, is it?
No, it's not
really.
It's not time off, but it's obviously it's hard graft, but it's not. I've got to get up and get on the tube and go to work and earn some money to pay the rent. It wasn't debt slavery. It was motherhood. Let's say, yeah.
How old is your child now?
My shining light is 27.
27. So Jacob, you're 28.
No, I'm 27, but I will be. So Cassie's 2 months younger than me.
2 months younger. Oh, right. Okay. So, what came after you emerged out of motherhood?
I had some fun and I met some great people. I was really lonely living in a little town in the middle of Somerset. And the good thing about being a mum is you sort of you meet people through going to child and baby things. So my life was quite miserable until I went to a nice day centre place where there was lots of mums. And I met Jacob's mother. She saved me from madness. The madness of single parenthood. She saved me. we became good friends, and there was a good group of us. There was a good group of friends, and we all had little babies, and now they're all big babies.
Was there a lot of play dates and days out and things like that?
All of that lovely stuff. Yeah. Oh, Jacob's mother was very good at looking after my daughter, and hopefully I reciprocated by looking after Jacob suitably well. So we could go off and do things.
Did she, Jacob?
Well, you can just look at the current me and work backwards.
I didn't scar him.
A job well done, I'd say.
Hey! I was in a play once. I did trod the boards. Jacob.
I know, and I want you to tell us the name of that play.
Oh my... It was called Agatha Christie and the Village Hall Murders.
Agatha Christie.
And Fran, with this one, I really want you to give us all the details here, please.
Oh no!
What was the play? What was your role in the play? Everything.
Well, it was my first ever play, so I'd really love to be able to look back at it and see if I was any good or not. But I was in such fear, I really don't know what my performance was like. But I had to. It was Agatha Christie. Obviously, it's a sort of spin on Agatha Christie. Village.
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah. Village Hall Murders. Sort of a bit like Midsummer Murders. But no, I had to play two characters. I had to play Olivia and Olive. Oliver and Olivia. Yeah, that's right. So two sort of posh country types, So I had to sort of be like one of the two fat ladies on the telly that does the cooking. That was my Olivia sort of.
Clarissa Dixon Rice.
That's the one. So I took my inspiration from her for Olivia, and then I just played a sort of posh knobby kind of Oliver mucking about with his shotgun in the countryside. Yes, but none of us were murderers, and I had purple hair at the time, and so I had to keep changing from a skirt to a jacket to a hat to a shotgun. You know how you do the quick turns at the back of the stage and come back with the wrong prop.
And this wasn't on the West End, was it? This was Amdram.
Amdram in Bournemouth. I'd play in the West End if anybody would have me, but no.
Did you ever do the pavilion, Fran?
I've done
the bright lights of the pavilion.
No, actually, have I sung at the pavilion? Because I'm in a choir, so I have sung in a few nice places, but actually, no, not the pavilion.
Oh, have you ever done the? Because I know sometimes they do the bandstand in Bournemouth Gardens, don't they? They sometimes have music acts there.
Yep, done that one. Lighthouse Pool, we did a thing. We
I was at the Lighthouse a couple of months ago, would you know?
Were you? What did you see?
Yeah, I saw some comedy.
Hey, you weren't in it then?
No, I was sat there thinking, this is rubbish, I'm better than you.
Who was it?
It was South Coast comedy. So it was like it was a few different acts who I'd never heard of before. It was pretty good actually. But yeah, Lighthouse is good.
It is good, yeah, good venue.
Can you give us a sample of the voices you used for your characters?
Oh God, Oliver, where's the teacup?
Oh, so your two characters would talk to each other?
Well, they were brother and sister, so it would.
But you'd have conversations when you were playing both.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were twins, you see, so it made sense for one person. Well, at the time, the director, whoever, thought it would be a good idea, or perhaps it was part of the script. I don't know, but yeah.
That's a heavy weight for you to bear, Fran.
Oh, it was hard. And as I say, I had purple hair at the time, and I had to sort of swap over the hats and the scarves and the skirts and the jackets, and I think at one point I came out without my hat on, so I've got purple hair. And it's like, that's not in keeping with either of the characters. So yeah. Oh, I did do a course in sound healing. I did do a.
I was going to bring this up. Actually,
were you?
So I'm glad you mentioned it.
Okay.
What for the listeners who don't know, what is sound healing?
using various instruments in a relaxed atmosphere where someone... See, if you're playing a gong, have you ever been to a gong bath?
No.
Okay. No water is involved. It's about sound waves. So you might be surrounded by 3 or 4 gongs, and you just lay back and you listen to the sound of the gongs, because they sort of do things to your brain. They sort of synchronize the hemispheres and take you off into a lovely space of discordant sound. It's lovely. And
so is it almost like a meditative
definitely
thing in a way? Yeah. So you would be laid on a bed, and then would there be several people around you, like playing gongs, or is that... I'm trying to picture it in my head what it would look like.
Okay. If you're leading a gong bath, then it's generally 1 or 2 people with 3 or 4 gongs, or just one person with 1 gong, depending. Gongs are really beautiful instruments. And then how many people turn up, just lie down on the floor and receive the lovely sounds that come through when you play.
To be honest, Fran, it does sound like pretty much the opposite of relaxation to be lying in amongst gongs, which are not famous for being soothing things. I think, if I was sleeping and someone started, like gently massaging my shoulder or something, I probably wouldn't wake up, and I'd feel like that was part of the experience of, relaxing. But if I was asleep and someone hit a gong next to me, I'd probably leap out of bed.
Well, I suppose it depends on the way you play it, doesn't it?
Absolutely, Jordan. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be banging it like they do in the advert for the film company.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
I was trying to remember what the name was of that company. Because I remember being a kid, and my granddad would always watch films where that was the opener, and I always used to think, this is going to be a good one.
Yes.
As soon as I'd hear the gong being banged, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the company, but yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
It's escaped me now, yeah.
No.
So how long have you been doing that for?
I think I did that in 2016, I think. Did a week's course in it, which was lovely, with the gong master, Don Conroe, who's absolutely lovely, 90
Master Gong?
A master gong player. Master Gong as opposed to Master Dong.
Yeah.
Indeed. But yeah, he's 93 now, and he's still teaching and playing the gong and travelling around the world. And his dream is to train as many people as gong players as possible, and to play them around the world to create world peace.
How many what's the critical mass of gong players to achieve world peace?
Well, that's a good question. There's many gongs around the world that are waiting to be played for such an occasion. Big ones in temples and things. But actually, because of that, we did I think I might be in the Guinness Book of Records.
Oh.
Go on.
2018 or 2019, I'm not sure, but we gathered as gong players and played a sequence of patterns on the gong as a 200 gong players in the same room at the same time.
Oh wow,
that sounds like a real racket.
It's not a racket. It's the sounds that you can get from a gong. God,
I'm just imagining
rich.
200 of those men from the film Ident all at once.
Yeah, no. It's you can get some beautiful sounds out of the gong.
So, should we hit the metaphoric gong and enter into the dream job section of the podcast?
I'll put a little gong sound effect in here during the edit. We all heard that gong there, didn't we?
That was gorgeous.
Yes, that was lovely.
Yeah. So just before we get into it, Fran, do you, your life's taken lots of interesting twists and turns. Do you now, after having learned everything that you've learned from your life, do you have a job that if you could go back in time and start your career over again that you would do? Do you have a dream job in mind already?
Well, I've got a list.
Oh yeah,
I've got a list here. But no, when I was a kid, the big thing to do was to record all the music off the chart show on a Sunday and play being the DJ. So you'd stop the tape at the end of the song before they spoke.
Yeah, my mum and dad have told me about this. You had to be really quick with it, didn't you? Yeah.
That's right, to stop bloody whoever the DJ was butting in at the end.
Yeah.
But no, that was great. So I think when I left school, it's like, well, I'd love to be a journalist, or I'd love to be a travel writer, or I'd love to be a DJ, TV presenter. No, not a TV presenter. I should have applied to Blue Peter, shouldn't I? That would have been fab.
Fran, I feel like you would have smashed it in Blue Peter.
But I wasn't the person then that I am now. I was too shy back then.
Never too late.
Never too late.
I've never known you to be shy in nearly 30 years.
Well, maybe not. But, but yeah, I am deep down. Deep down, I'm a...
Maybe we can try to home in on some things by talking about your general kind of preferences about because obviously no one wants their life to be just work. So how, like, for starters, what kind of working hours would you have in your ideal job?
Well, in my ideal job, I wouldn't do a day's work. I wouldn't work at all. I mean, I've done enough of that in my life. God's sakes, I want to play and travel and see the world and go to luxury spas. And
would you like to be like one of those people who gets really high up in a company and all they seem to do is travel around and stay in hotels and go to meetings where they talk about, nothing in particular, and then they go back to the hotel and they go out for dinners?
Can you imagine me doing such a job so boring? I'd have to do...
Sorry to cut in. Earlier you mentioned, Fran, that you would love to interview people.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I wonder whether we could incorporate... Well, you've said about journalism as well. So would there be something in that where you could travel the world interviewing interesting people, maybe interesting people for things like their memoirs or biographies or things like that, where you could learn about people's lives?
No, UFOs, ancient civilizations.
Oh, okay.
Nothing about people's biographies. No. I'd travel, go to Machu Picchu and go to Mount Shasta and look for UFO sightings and things like that.
Ancient aliens and things like that.
Yes, that'd be the way.
My dad's big into those programs. Yeah, I've watched a lot of that. Yeah,
and those lines in the desert, is it in
Nazca lines in Peru?
Yeah, in Peru.
So you'd almost be like an investigative. I can never say that word. Investigative journalist.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'd love to do that. I'd love to be a Graham Hancock. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm digging.
What's that magazine? Is it? My stepdad used to read it, Fortean Times, I think.
Oh, okay.
And they had lots of things like that in it. So would you have your own? How would you so when you'd written this stuff, how would you distribute it? Would you want a hard copy like magazine or newspaper, or would you want a news website or a news channel or a radio show?
I'd be quite happy on a radio show. Be quite happy, yeah.
Like a pirate radio show.
Better, yeah, brilliant.
You'd broadcast from they used to find these pirate radio broadcasters would find these
boats on the sea,
forts or things, or boats off the shore.
Yeah, Radio Caroline, yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere off the coast of Essex.
Well, you might have to be a little bit, somewhere off the coast of Essex. That's right. That was Radio Caroline.
Yeah.
But well, again, I might have to use my skills of evading the police, because if I'm delving into UFO mysteries, then maybe the military might turn up.
Bringing that back in, yeah. Because you've dodged them once or twice, you can do it again.
Absolutely no problem.
Yeah.
And then if they do catch you, you can just sell them an encyclopedia and pretend that that's your job.
Absolutely.
That's your cover.
Yes. Area 51, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. This is coming together quite nicely then. I feel like, and also because I know you quite well, obviously, Fran, this does gel quite nicely. Are you imagining that? Because I'm imagining that in this scenario, it would be quite hard to make a decent kind of profit from running a kind of pirate radio show. about these kind of phenomena. So you're imagining you might have a kind of patron or something, or what if the aliens paid you?
Oh, ideal.
If they paid you in space credits or something, you could convert to.
So you're not
anti-alien,
you're pro-alien.
Pro-alien, absolutely pro-alien. Yeah.
Okay. Then the problem is that if you're being paid by the aliens, then people might not see you as being an impartial journalist.
You're right
yes, they might think you have an alien bias, Fran.
So the aliens would have to pay you through lots of very secret accounts that go through the Cayman Islands and things like that.
Well,
or the space equivalent of the Cayman Islands, Pluto.
Offshore accounts on Pluto.
Would you like to go into space, Fran?
I'd love to go into space. Wouldn't it be amazing? Did you see? I'm a lover of the Star Trek series, and bless his cotton socks, William Shatner at the age of 90 went up in Blue Origin a few years ago. Did any of you see it?
No,
I missed that. I didn't know that. Yeah.
So basically just a sort of pod-like thing that gets shot up into space. But here's a question. Now, If you shoot a rocket up into space and then they're up there and they're looking down and everything's going on and William Shatner's going, oh my God, how fragile the Earth is. He was so moved. But when you come back down again, right, if the Earth is spinning at 3,000 miles an hour, then how can you land in the same place?
Well, because when you get fired out because of the Earth's orbit, you'd sort of...
No, because you're just going up. You're just going up. They're just going up for a fun shoot up into the air and then a slow
I guess
descent.
you could say the same thing where if I just jump in the air, why doesn't the Earth shoot away from me at 3,000 miles an hour?
Well, it is a mystery in my world.
Well,
it's
I
got
think
Jordan thinking.
I take Fran's point, because if you're far enough away from the Earth, if you jump off the ground, you're so close to the Earth, it's not going to make a difference. Well, yeah, because you're also within the Earth's gravitational pull.
Yeah.
So was he, when he got fired out, was he outside of? Oh, I don't know.
No, he's inside the capsule.
I don't know now, Fran.
Sorry, I can't help thinking these things.
Has he gone into orbit?
No, literally.
Has he gone that far?
No, look it up.
Look
it up. It's Blue Origin. It's Jeff Bezos is one of his things.
Well, I mean, they do have engines as well, so they can move around and navigate back to where they came from, I presume. But I don't think that we're going to be able to get to the bottom of that one without having an astronaut on the podcast to explain it to us.
This context was what struck Shatner the most. And he's quoted as saying, "It was the death that I saw in space and the life force that I saw coming from the planet, the blue, the beige, and the white. And I realised one was death and the other was life."
Wow. You see, he was so moved. Bless his heart. There he was playing Captain Kirk for all these years. And then he was blown up into space when he was 90. And it moved.
But he's kind of
deeply.
dissing the aliens there, isn't he?
It must feel so, I don't know, just so isolating being up there and looking down on Earth and thinking, wow, that's I'm so far away from everyone I know and everything I know. See, thinking about it like that, I don't know if I would want to go into space. I feel like it would be too existential for me.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that guy that did that thing where he shot up, or did he go up in an air balloon?
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
he
let
jumped.
go.
Felix Baumgartner.
Yeah.
And then
That
you're
was
going
cool.
down, you're shooting
That
down
was
like a
cool, yeah.
bullet, and then you faint, and then, oh my God, you're still coming down like a bullet, and then hopefully you wake up again before you pull your parachute.
Would you do that, Fran?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Why? That's not on your bucket list.
It's not on my bucket list. I wouldn't do that, no.
How would you do it for $100,000?
No, a million.
$1 million?
Million, different.
If anyone's listening to this podcast who wants to pay Fran £1 million to do the Felix Baumgartner thing, jump, then if Red Bull are listening and want to get someone else to do it.
So, Fran,
Yeah.
one thing that I've been thinking is with the journalism that you want to do and you want to investigate ancient aliens and these phenomenons, what's the message that you want to give to people? What's the what do you want the world to know through your journalism?
Oh, blimey. Come on, grow up, people. There's a galactic world waiting to be discovered. Stop pissing around with your petty wars, you criminals. Stop popping guns off and killing people. Come on, grow up, people. There's a whole universe to explore, and there's a whole different races to be met, and it's going to happen soon. I'm really hoping.
So this traveling around the world, I guess a lot of it's South America by the sounds of it, or Area 51 in the Americas anyway. But would the dream job also involve being able to have the occasional trip out into space?
Well, one of my other jobs that I'd like to be is an estate agent.
Well,
that did not.
Maybe
that was complete non sequitur from what I just said.
I know.
Can we marry the two?
Oh, I hope so.
And if in a world where we can settle on other planets, because it feels like that might be coming soon with Mars in our lifetimes. Maybe you could be the estate agent that sells the properties on Mars.
I'm sorry,
great.
Jordan, but I can't take that in my stride as much as you. I need to go back and ask Fran, what do you mean? Why do you want to be an estate agent when we've just been talking about you investigating aliens?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
can a woman not dream, Jacob?
Yes, let me dream. Well, I think. I think if you go up in space, then you've got a good view of the Earth, so you could go. That might be a nice place to live. What are the houses like at Seriously, I was looking on Google Earth the other day, and I zoomed in on this house, which is on the river near Southampton. My God, the architecture.
Yeah, but if you were in space, you couldn't do that, could you? You couldn't zoom in on and look at a house by the river in Southampton.
Well, if you had the Hubble telescope.
Yeah, but that's looking out into space, isn't it? Not at the.
Well, spin it round. It's in space. just turn it round and point it at Southampton.
Okay, so it's part of it then when you're going up into space on your occasional trip to go and do some journalism.
Yeah.
You might drop by the Hubble telescope and turn it around so it's pointing at the Earth, and then have a look for some nice houses, and then maybe go and sell those.
That'd work.
To a particular customer base or just anyone.
Oh, I tell you, there isn't there a recent program on the telly where they've got estate agents selling posh properties for big money. Have you seen?
Sure, there is. No, I haven't.
I watched one episode. And they were saying,
Selling Sunset.
Maybe.
Is it that Netflix series where it's like in America?
I think they've done ones in posh places in the Mediterranean, maybe America. What's the one I was thinking? It was the one in London. And my God, I couldn't believe how thick and rude these estate agents were to these people that are going to spend really big money. I can't believe it. It's like, how rude.
So you'd be one of the good ones, Fran.
Oh, I would be so nice. All the skills I've learned in my life, like talking to people in bars to butter them up, to give me tips, to selling encyclopedias.
You have mentioned tips a lot in this podcast.
Have I?
Yeah. And what about if the aliens made contact? I'm assuming you'd want to sell them a nice gaff or two.
Oh, I think they already live here, so they probably.
Where do they live? What kind of houses?
They are here amongst us.
Yeah, they all live in Crawley, Jacob.
Well, I kind of feel like we might have to get you to choose between being an estate agent or being an investigative I can't say it now, or being an investigative journalist who goes after aliens, because they feel like such different jobs. that they're both dream jobs in their own right, and I'm not sure that they marry together particularly neatly. So why don't we explore them a bit more, and then you can decide which one you want to go for, unless there's a third option that we need to consider as well.
Well, Adventure Holidays kind of combines the investigative journalist bit, because Adventure Holidays with a theme to them, which is exploring ancient sites, I suppose. I suppose it's an ancient estate agent, surely, because I'm looking at ruins, necropolies and sarcophagi, and sort of saying, oh, you know, this is how they used to live in the pharaonic times.
and then who are you selling them to?
And you're thinking, well, this would be a nice place for the island in the kitchen.
Yes. But other than that,
so
I don't know.
Adventure. So are you envisioning that you could take a group of like-minded people to one of these places, almost like a guided tour in a way, where you could teach them more about it and show them the evidence there, you know?
Yeah, why not? That'd be lovely. That'd be a great job.
Yeah.
That'd be a great job. I'd never be bored. I'd be somewhere nice and interesting. I'd be chatting to nice, interesting people. Oh, that would be lovely.
Wow.
What are you settling on? What out of everything you've spoken about so far, what is singing to your heart the most as your ideal job?
Well, definitely the first one. Definitely. A radio presenter, investigative journalist, exploring the mysteries of the world. There's so many more mysteries. There's so many more mysteries that we haven't quite discovered.
That does sound...
I'd listen in, Fran.
Yay!
What would be in your like toolkit, or your like what would you take with you when you were going off to do these things?
Magnifying glass. What ho?
So you can be like, crusty.
Pipe.
Yes. Gonna do a stalker.
So you wouldn't need any alien detection gear of any kind.
No, because I think it's all about consciousness, so it's being in the right vibration, man.
So would you bring a gong with you?
Why not? Yeah, that would be good. Good.
Quite difficult to lug around, but...
It would be, yeah.
Oh, it's a dream job. Fran would be flying in private jets. She'd have a room in the back for the gong.
Absolutely.
That the aliens are paying for secretly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving them good press. Giving them good press.
I guess it might be a little bit of a lonely job, mightn't it?
My life has been one lonely road.
Oh, Fran, don't! You're breaking my heart.
What would the difference make with this dream job?
Would you want a friend? Would you want someone to accompany you?
Always. I always would just have a little buddy that come along with me.
Like Sapphire and Steel.
That's right. Yeah, why not?
Well, I think that we might have found your dream job, and that might be that you are a traveling investigative journalist who travels the world looking for the signs of alien contact with humans and ancient alien artifacts and symbols and signs that they've left behind. And you travel around. The aliens are secretly paying for your hotels and flights and things, but not for any malevolent reason, but because they know that you're helping to get them good PR, basically.
Absolutely, because they need a good bit of PR, because what PR do you see about aliens? It's all fear-mongering. Fear-mongering. Alien v Predator. Ooh, scary.
Independence Day.
Independence Day.
War of the World.
To be fair, Predator doesn't come out great out of Alien versus Predator.
That is true, but they're always, we must shoot the aliens, we must bomb them. Oh, scary. No.
Yeah.
There's good ones and there's bad ones.
Great. Well, will you accept that job as it is, Fran, or do you need anything else to sweeten the deal?
Could I get my own personal chef?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. Yes, you can.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes, you can.
Brilliant.
Who will travel around. Tell us a bit about the ideal person.
Well, somebody that can cook shit hot food and and be okay to look at.
And be okay to look at. Ooh.
If you could pick,
I'm trying to think of famous. I'm trying to think of famous chefs now that would be
Marco Pierre White.
No.
Heston.
Oh, actually, Marco Pierre White, nice French accent. Maybe I could live with that. Yeah.
Or do you want
Certainly
to
couldn't be
pick
Jamie
a
Oliver.
celebrity who
Could
it
be
could look
Jamie
like?
Oliver. No, all my chips, mate.
Yeah, with his Mockney accent.
Not him.
Well, that's we can give that. We can throw that in. I mean, we can work out the finer details. It doesn't always have to be the same one, because you could switch them out from time to time if you want to try a different chef who looks different
On rotation, that would work for me. Yeah.
Maybe to each area you go, you could have a chef for that region. The best chef of that area.
I'd get the best food from everywhere I went. I like that idea.
Because then you get the real local cuisine.
Yeah. Like it.
This sounds great. Well, I think that's it. And will you shake our hands on that?
Absolutely. Yes. A virtual shake.
Shake.
Virtual
shake.
Shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty.
Well, thank you for coming on the podcast, Fran. It's been great. And even though I've known you for my entire life, I think pretty much everything you said was news to me, and I love all of it. So
bless you, cotton socks.
It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, Fran.
Oh, cool. And you, Jordan.
And getting to know about your past and your future.
Yeah. There's some of that to be had yet.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, take care, Fran, and bon voyage on your trips out into space.
Why, thank you. Superb.
So there we go. That was very fun. What did you think of that, Jordan?
I absolutely bloody love that. What an interesting person Fran is. Fran is the kind of person that when I look back on my life, I want to be like that. Someone who's in the moment, someone who's just said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. Doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter where it takes me, I'm just going to do it. And yeah, what an interesting person.
Yeah, she was around a lot, especially when I was younger, when she lived in Frome as well. Frome, the lovely town in Somerset that I grew up in. So that explains, I guess, why I'm the person I am today. Partly. She's part of it, part of the puzzle. The influence she had on me. You can tell, can't you? You can tell that I'm quite like her.
Yeah, I've always thought that about you. She's part of the enigma that makes up Jacob.
Yeah.
The illusion that is my good friend Jacob.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie Randall, who was our guest on the first episode, did once say to me that I was a figment of his imagination.
I think you are for me as well. I wonder whether you and Fran were even here at all. Or if I've just been talking to myself for the past 2.5 hours or something.
There's quite a funny bit on the Footlights review that was televised with Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie and Emma Thompson and a couple of other people. And it's the first sketch, and it's a view from above of Hugh Laurie sitting at a desk talking to a microphone. And he says, this is the whole sketch. He says, "Is anybody there? Is anybody there? This is Radio 3. Is anybody there?" It's really good. Goes downhill after that. I can't remember any of the other sketches, but that was a good sketch.
I like that.
Well, I guess you better give a little plug on the old social media. Or maybe people are sick of hearing the old patter, I mean.
Go on then.
I guess, just go and look, it's not that hard. You know what the podcast's called. Go and look us up, and then you'll get it will be easy. You'll get all the content and stuff and all the episodes we post and everything else. You'll just see it, and it'll be easy. So do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've stolen your thunder there.
It's going to, what you're the worst. It's going to make your life a lot easier because everyone's lives are crazy. Everyone's lives are hectic. I'm guilty of it. I forget when my favorite podcast episodes come out and I think, I've missed an episode. I'm out of the loop. If only I'd followed the socials, the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter, the TikTok, then I'd know when the new episodes are out. And also, I'd get funny content. I'd get little clips, little teasers, a few behind the scenes bits, a few little photos that the guests send us afterwards as promotional material. Check it out. Follow us, Careers Mare Podcast everywhere. You're going to have a grand old time, and you can follow us on this journey.
And something else as well, because, episode 5 now, we're getting into it. And we've already recorded quite a few more episodes that are coming out, and we're recording more, making sure that we've got more and more kind of recorded for, to make sure that we're not always right at the wire. But we're getting to the point now where if you know someone, if you have a friend or a family friend or a connection or someone who has an interesting job and you think would be a good guest on the podcast, please do get in touch with us on social media. Send us a DM on Instagram. Is that a thing? That's a thing, isn't it? A DM on Instagram or Twitter or whatever it is you use, Facebook even. And just let us know, because it might be someone that we want to add to our list of guests, and that would be really helpful. Because obviously we want to get all sorts of people on the podcast, and all sorts of jobs, all sorts of ages. So just let us know if you've got someone, because everyone's got someone that they know that would be a good guest on this podcast, I think.
Definitely. And also, whilst you're at it, can you give us a little like and a review on the podcast platform that you're listening to?
Oh yeah.
Because it really helps to bump us up the old algorithm. Give us a review. Give us a 5-star review. Give us a 5-star review. Give us a 5-star review. And don't give us any less than a 5-star review. Otherwise, I'll find your IP address and I'll come and I'll kiss your mum in front of you. You wouldn't like that, would you?
No. I mean, the other day I had a look, and I think on Spotify or maybe Apple Podcasts, now I saw we had five 5-star reviews, and honestly I fell to my knees and wept when I saw that. And so happy I was. So please make it happen again, folks.
And if you think about it, that's 25 stars.
Yeah, out of 5.
So give us more is the point I'm making.
It's 500% good. That's what this podcast is.
Yeah, when you crunch the numbers, it's
500% good.
When people say I'm going to give 110%, we give 500% to every podcast episode we do.
Yeah, and if you just went now, as you're listening to this, and gave it a little like, be 600% or 700%. Or who knows? The sky's the limit.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Wow. Aren't we good hosts?
Aren't we just? Yeah. And what a perfect note to end it on.
Yeah.
La.